I remember as a child, one December, my mum returning from Christmas shopping, carrying numerous bags that were bulging with presents. She hurried past, concealing the bags, and hid them in an upstairs bedroom. Naturally, we were told not to go looking and peek. Throughout the autumn of that year, I'd been pestering my parents about a super cool radio-controlled car. I told them that all my friends had one, that I needed one too. I raised the conversation about the radio-controlled car at every opportunity. One afternoon in mid-December, I was playing in my bedroom when I remembered the hidden presents. Like a child on a mystery trail, I went in search of clues. I looked under beds, on top of wardrobes, and even climbed the ladder and peeked inside the attic, all to no success. As I was about to give up, I noticed the edge of a blanket sticking out from under a chair in my parents' bedroom. I knelt down, tilted my head under the chair, and noticed the bulge under that blanket. Gently, I lifted the blanket, and then there it was. A turbo special 4-wheel drive radio controlled car. Instantly, I was elated and then strangely disappointed at the same time. I'd spoilt my Christmas present. When Christmas Day came, I was of course excited, but it wasn't the same. That glimpse, seeing the surprise, it changed it. It was hard to pretend I hadn't seen what I'd seen. It's interesting that a glimpse, whilst temporary and short-lived, is really quite permanent at the same time. Jesus knew the power of a glimpse, and Jesus offered people a glimpse of a better way to live. Jesus often talked about this in a way where he explained it as the kingdom of God is like. And then he used analogies and stories and examples that people knew. The kingdom of God is like some yeast and a bread that's small but changes everything. Or the kingdom of God is like a pearl that's precious, that when you find it, you'll do anything to get it, to obtain it. Or the kingdom of God is like some treasure in a field. And Jesus gave glimpses of this kingdom, which basically means the rule and reign of God, the way things are meant to be, the way things could be, the way things should be. And when Jesus told these stories, when Jesus gave these teachings, the response to the people that heard them was, it moved them. They wanted to know more. They wanted to look a second time. They wanted to participate. They wanted to join the stories. They couldn't forget what they had heard. It imprinted something on them. It moved them. A glimpse is interesting in that a glimpse, by definition, is both temporary, but yet strangely permanent. In that you see something for a short time, and sometimes it can stick and it can stay with you forever. I remember at a very young age watching the movie Jaws and being petrified of the shark attack and only needing to hear those tones of the shark appearing later on and being instantly scared and petrified because what I saw stuck with me. And a glimpse can do that. It's short and temporary, but it sticks and it's permanent. And even now, much later, I'm really careful about what I allow myself to view, whether that be websites or horror movies. I just don't go near things because there's something that can happen in us where we can see something in a temporary sense and then we close our eyes and it's like we can see it all over again. Because in a strange, mysterious way, a glimpse is a permanent thing. A glimpse leaves you wanting more. It's like going back to a shop to look at something a second or a third time. Sometimes you want to see it again. Or a beautiful sight, a landscape, or a person, not in a lustful way, but in a way where beauty captivates. A glimpse leaves you wanting more. Jesus knew the power of a glimpse. In his teaching, Jesus often told stories about the kingdom of God. He often said the kingdom of God is like. And then he used real-time examples and analogies to show and tell people what the kingdom of God is like. An interesting question. Did Jesus show them the entirety of the kingdom of God in those stories? No, not really. He gave them a glimpse. He told them what it's like. He gave them a glimpse. Jesus was offering people a glimpse, aware that a glimpse has an incredible power to make you want to look again, to make you want to change and learn and grow, and to make you want to step into the story, because there's something happening here. This is going somewhere, and we are invited to come and see. Towards the end of John's Gospel in the New Testament, we read a story and we overhear a conversation between Philip, one of Jesus' followers, and Jesus. And Philip makes a request of Jesus. He says, "Lord, show us the Father," as in show us God, "and that will be enough for us," which is a great request. And Jesus answers, "Philip, how have I been with you so long and you haven't seen? If you have seen me, you have seen the Father," which is a really interesting response. Now, we read later on, other New Testament writers understood that Jesus was God in person. So if we have seen Jesus, we have seen the representation of God himself. But Philip isn't the first person to make this request. In the Old Testament, in the book of Exodus, the second book of the Bible, there's a guy called Moses, and Moses asks a similar request. He says, "God, show me all of your glory." And God says to Moses, "I can't show you all of my glory because it's so big, it's so immense. If I did, it would totally consume you." So Philip's asking a great request, and Jesus' answer is interesting. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Let's pause for a moment. Has Philip seen everything that there is to see of God? Has he seen the entirety of the divine being who birthed creation? Has he seen all that there is to see? My hunch is no. There's more to see, more to explore, more to find. Jesus has shown Philip a glimpse, and a glimpse makes you want more, and a glimpse makes you look a second time, and a glimpse moves you from where you are to where you could be. That is the power of a glimpse, and Jesus offers us a glimpse. So a glimpse is an introduction. And when you read an introduction to a book, you have by no means read the whole book. It's just the beginning. It's like an invitation. It's an invitation to journey, to discover, to explore. And with a glimpse, we are invited to come and see. We are invited to see something that may stick and may move us. We are invited to do something about what we've seen and heard. We are invited to journey, to discover. We are invited to come and see. And that is the power of a glimpse.